Baby Mama offers a range of supplements, many of which are aimed at addressing hair loss in women, particularly after pregnancy. But does this popular supplement actually work? Let's take a closer look at the ingredients in Baby Mama's hair growth supplements, specifically Haircoming Queen and Grow Girl. Starting with Haircoming Queen. It's essentially a mix of vitamins and minerals, similar to what you'd find in a multivitamin, along with a proprietary blend of herbal extracts. By the way, I review a lot of new supplements on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date. Let's begin with Biotin. Although it's one of the most commonly recommended vitamins for hair growth, the evidence supporting its effectiveness for hair loss is quite weak. In fact, only one study so far has focused on using biotin itself specifically for hair loss. In this study, healthy adults with hair loss were given injections of biotin and vitamin B5. The results showed a reduction in hair loss and improved hair density. However, the study has several major issues. First, there was no placebo group for comparison, making it hard to tell if the improvement was due to the treatment or just a placebo effect. Second, biotin was combined with vitamin B5, so it's unclear whether the results were caused by biotin, vitamin B5, or both. Lastly, the biotin was injected rather than taken orally, which further complicates how to interpret the findings. Beyond this weak study, there are no other clinical trials testing biotin itself for hair regrowth. Most of the evidence we have comes from case studies. One review looked at 18 reported cases where biotin was used for hair or nail issues. In these cases, patients with underlying conditions affecting their hair or nails saw some improvement after taking biotin. But case studies involve only individual observations and lack control groups, randomization, and large sample sizes. This makes it hard to determine if biotin's effects are consistent or if other factors were at play. As a result, these cases only provide anecdotal evidence rather than strong evidence-driven data. So what can we conclude about biotin's ability to help with hair loss? The belief that biotin can promote hair growth in healthy people isn't well supported by evidence. While biotin supplementation might help in cases of deficiency or certain conditions like brittle nail syndrome, these situations are rare. For most healthy individuals, there is no good evidence to suggest that biotin significantly affects hair growth at all. Vitamins A, C, D, E, and the B vitamins are important nutrients that may contribute to overall hair health. However, no studies have shown that taking supplements with these vitamins can help with hair loss or regrowth. So if these nutrients support healthy hair, why doesn't supplementing with them boost hair growth even more? The reason is that only significant deficiencies in these vitamins might slow hair growth, and such deficiencies are rare in North America. Once your body has enough vitamins, taking more won't speed up growth, and in some cases, too much can cause harm. For example, taking too much vitamin A can actually lead to hair loss. The same goes for the minerals in Baby Mama's hair supplements. Minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, zinc, manganese, and potassium are general nutrients that may support healthy hair, but taking supplements won't affect hair growth unless you have a significant deficiency, which again is rare in North America. However, deficiencies in vitamin B12, magnesium, and iron are worth noting. While still relatively uncommon, they are common enough in North America that some people do need supplements. However, of these three, vitamin B12 and magnesium deficiencies are not typically linked to hair loss. Iron deficiency, on the other hand, is often associated with hair loss in women, and supplementing with iron can help reduce this type of hair loss. So, of all these vitamins and minerals, including biotin, iron is the only one that may be helpful for hair growth, and only if you're actually deficient. The idea that you need the quote exact minerals in exact doses to restore your hair is simply not true. Your body is fully capable of extracting the nutrients it needs for hair growth from your regular diet, and it can store away or produce new nutrients from your food when needed. You don't need to take every single necessary nutrient for hair growth every day. Trust your body, it knows what it's doing. Now, let's move on to the proprietary blend. Maybe that's where Haircoming Queen can redeem itself, because right now, I'm not impressed with this formula. Horsetail extract contains small amounts of silica, a nutrient needed in tiny quantities for hair growth. However, much like biotin, despite its frequent recommendation for hair growth, there is no evidence that silica supplements actually promote hair growth. Theoretically, silica could help if you are severely deficient, but silica deficiencies are almost unheard of in North America. Additionally, the amount of horsetail extract in Haircoming Queen is far too small to have any meaningful nutritional impact. Spirulina is a popular supplement due to its wide range of nutrients. However, there's no evidence that it helps with hair loss or promotes hair growth. It does contain a small amount of iron, which, as mentioned earlier, could support hair growth in women with iron deficiencies. That said, the amount of spirulina in Haircoming Queen is too small to provide any real nutritional benefit. Saw palmetto has been weakly studied for hair loss, showing only minimal benefits, and only in men, not women. Clinical research suggests that a combination of saw palmetto extract and beta-sitosterol can improve subjective measures of hair quantity and quality in men experiencing hair loss. However, it's unclear if the saw palmetto alone was responsible for these weak results. Another study showed that saw palmetto extract had a slight effect on hair loss in men, but it was much less effective compared to finasteride, a medication used for hair loss. In both studies, it took 1 to 2 years of regular use before any benefits were noticeable. On top of that, the doses of saw palmetto and Haircoming Queen are far too low to have any significant effect. The other ingredients, paba, fo tea, bamboo, stinging nettle, Chinese peony, plant sterols, alfalfa, and barley grass, have no human evidence supporting their ability to support hair growth. Some, like plant sterols, do have some research backing other health benefits, such as help to lower cholesterol. However, the doses required for these effects range from hundreds to thousands of milligrams per day. The amounts of these ingredients in Haircoming Queen are far too small to provide any real health benefits, let alone help with hair loss. So how effective is Baby Mama's Haircoming Queen for hair growth? Of all the ingredients, only biotin, iron, and saw palmetto show any potential for promoting hair growth based on human research. Of these, only biotin and iron are included in doses that might actually be useful. This means that if you have a significant iron or biotin deficiency or suffer from brittle nail syndrome, you might see a slight benefit. However, if you don't have these deficiencies, it's highly unlikely the supplement will help with hair growth at all. The gummy version of this supplement is likely even less effective. While it contains many of the same vitamins and minerals, it removes the proprietary blend of herbs and replaces the iron with iodine. Like iron, iodine deficiency can cause hair thinning, but taking more than you need won't help with hair loss. Since iodine deficiency is rare in North America due to its addition to regular table salt, this gummy version is even less likely to have any effect on hair growth. Baby Mama also offers another gummy called Grow Girl, marketed for hair loss, but it's probably the least effective of the three. It contains just a few of the vitamins and minerals and uses collagen peptides instead. There's no evidence that generic collagen peptides help with hair growth. Collagen is more commonly used to improve skin health, and while there is some research showing it can benefit skin, studies typically use between 2.5 and 10 grams of collagen per day to see any effect on skin. Grow Girl contains only 100 milligrams of collagen per gummy. You'd need to take at least 25 gummies daily to reach a potentially useful dose for skin benefits. That's nearly half the bottle a day, adding up to 300 calories from the gummies alone, equivalent to eating 4 chocolate chip cookies just to get enough collagen for it to be effective. Hair loss after pregnancy isn't fully understood, and there are no standard medical treatments for it. This has led to products like Baby Mama claiming to address the issue. Typically, hair loss starts 2 to 4 months after giving birth and can last anywhere from 6 months to a year. For most women, the hair eventually grows back, though some may not regain all the hair they had before pregnancy. However, this hair loss isn't caused by vitamin or mineral deficiencies, so taking supplements likely won't help and will just lead to frustration. Instead, it's more likely due to hormonal changes during and after pregnancy. Many studies suggest that estrogen plays an important role in hair growth, and postpartum hair loss is likely due to the drop in estrogen levels after giving birth. When a woman's menstrual cycle resumes, ovulation begins, and her estrogen and progesterone levels usually return to pre-pregnancy levels, which often leads to hair regrowth. However, for some women, estrogen levels may not fully return to what they were before pregnancy, which can result in thinner hair or reduced hair density. Breastfeeding can also delay a woman's period and keep estrogen levels lower for a longer period of time. A small study found that breastfeeding for longer may be associated with longer periods of postpartum hair loss. This suggests that in some cases, stopping breastfeeding earlier could help speed up hair regrowth after pregnancy. Another potential cause for postpartum hair loss is the drastic lifestyle changes after giving birth. Caring for a newborn comes with a lot of stress, and high levels of stress are known to cause temporary hair loss. However, since caring for a child isn't temporary, this stress-related hair loss can persist well beyond pregnancy. Baby Mama's Haircoming Queen costs about $35 a month, but it's essentially just a multivitamin with some iron and a large dose of biotin. If you want the same benefits, you could simply take a prenatal vitamin, which typically includes iron, and add biotin yourself. A generic prenatal vitamin costs around $10 to $15 a month, and biotin costs about $2 to $3 a month. Altogether, that's only $12 to $18 a month. Rating Haircoming Queen by effectiveness for hair loss, I'm giving it a D. Unless you suffer from significant nutritional deficiencies, it is unlikely to be effective for hair growth. Rating by cost, I'm giving it a D. It can be easily replicated at a far cheaper cost. Rating for safety, I'm giving it a B. The ingredients and doses used are unlikely to be of much cause for concern. Overall rating, I'm giving a D. I would not recommend it at all. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Yeung. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date, and share this video with someone you know can use the info.